I'm Anita of Explore Pilates, and we're going to do some exercises suitable for those days in which we have really tight shoulders and we're not going to lift our head from the mat. So let's start on our back. We're going to start with an exercise which is my adaptation of one of the exercises from Stuart McGill's Big Three, and these are all to help develop core strength and keep your back safe. So I have my hand underneath my back, fingertips touching towards spine but not underneath the spine. Other hand goes behind the head. Press the tailbone into the mat and also bring the ribs down so that you're not in a back arch. You're going to lift the head, relaxing neck and shoulder muscles until abs fire. Also, because you're not pushing down on this hand, you really have to use the abdominals. We're not going to curl up like the 100, but rather look up towards the ceiling, relaxing all the while checking in, constantly repeating to that, checking rather, that the shoulders and neck are indeed relaxed. And then come up a little bit higher when you feel you need the challenge, and then lowering down with control. Okay? Lift up one more time, relaxing neck and shoulders. Stick the tailbone into the mat, melt the ribs down, but the lower back is free, so it's not pushing down. Oh, I found them. Whew. And come down with control. You can do this 3 to 4 times. We're going to do it twice for the video. All right. Switch hands, and other hand goes behind the head. Relax neck and shoulders. Fleet flat. Flat feet, never mind, you know what I mean, flat feet on the floor. How did that happen? Okay, tailbone pressing in, lower back is nice and light, and you're going to really sink the ribs down as well. Ooh. And it takes a little bit of coordination, and I can always help you in person, either on video or in the studio. And you're going to lift on up, lengthening the neck. Really make sure that the neck and shoulders are indeed relaxed, and then lower down with control. That was my first time. Feet are flat and tailbone pressing into the mat and lifting up. See if you can relax the neck even more. Sometimes it's tighter on one side. And then lift up a little bit more. Find that shake and a little bit of a burn, and then lower down. Okay, the 100. If you're going to have your head down, it's best to have the knees bent, still pressing tailbone into the mat and reach the arms long. Make sure the ribs are pulling down, and finding kind of like you're test driving your range of motion. Where's the upper end and the lower end? And all of this is happening 6 to 8 inches above your belly. So we're not actually going down to the mat. We start halfway up the thighs, I guess. That's about where you're aiming for. So the hands are above the belly. As you pump up and down, you want to reach forward and pull the ribs down. Press the tailbone into the mat. Reach the tailbone towards the heels. Pull the heels towards the tailbone. Ooh, now you got the lower abs working. Deep lower abs here. Okay? So that's about how we're going to work. Even if you are not doing 5 pumps, you want to avoid bobbing up and down. You want to make sure that you really are lengthening and then really reaching tailbone to the heels. You don't even look like you're doing anything. You might not even feel like you're doing anything, but you are maintaining stability. And the pumping arms are working the back muscles and destabilizing you, which makes it more of a challenge to stabilize. Now when that feels good, you can start to lift the head. This time we are going to go into the 100 curl without, I repeat, without tucking the pelvis and without pushing the lower back into the mat. So it's truly the upper abdominal curl, and the neck and the shoulders stay somewhat neutral because the arms are reaching long, feet are pressing into the mat. You can try to squeeze them, legs squeezed together, As long as you remember to press the tailbone down and then curl on up at the same time. And there's your 100. Okay, so that's phase 2 when you feel pretty strong, but you can also continue the whole 100 series down here because all of the work is happening in the tailbone, reaching, heels pulling, crown of the head growing tall, and arms reaching long, and then pumping, connecting into the back as you really feel the weight of your arm off of the shoulder blade. So it's the muscles over the shoulder blade that are helping that, right? They're balancing the weight of the arm. All right, so let's go ahead and come on up for the half roll back. Because if you're not lifting your head, we're not going to go all the way down to the mat and then come up. We're just going to start seated. Feet press into the mat, legs are joined together, hands go underneath the hamstring, crown of the head is reaching towards the ceiling. You want to feel like a puppet on a string, nice and suspended. And as you roll back, you want to feel a nice coordination, like a collaboration between your sides, your front, and then the back opens up, allowing your spine to curl, and maybe you go back as far as the arms straighten. You're not pushing the lower back again, but rather you're lengthening up and out of the hips as the belly pulls back and the head goes forward, and then lift on up. Try to lift yourself up from the hip points rather than thinking, I'm going to sit as tall and straight as possible, which usually ends up with the chest sticking out. So that's what we do not want. And belly pulls back. Maybe the arms straighten, but the feet must remain flat, and light lower back as the belly pulls back and the head reaches forward, and then lifting up. Lift yourself from the hip points, squeeze them together and lift up. And inhale, do a couple with a little bit more movement, and lift up and pull back and reach forward, elbows back, and lift up, 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 up. Good. That would have been our half roll back. Then the next exercise in the order is rolling like a ball. So if you've got tight shoulders, we might skip rolling like a ball, but we won't skip this exercise. Leg is straight, and as you bend the other leg, be mindful to keep your hips square so that the straight leg does not slide forward, and then you twist to keep one leg bent. Often happens when we have one leg straight and then the other leg bent. We're going to pull up using our abdominals. Hands go as if we were going to do as if we were going to do rolling like a ball. So the elbows are nice and wide. Press the leg down, reach the abdominals away. You only go as far as you can really feel a press of the leg down, and then push down to lift up. And you can use your hand to give you extra help, or wrap around the shin. And last one, just 3 on each leg, and exhale, exhale, exhale. All right, switch to the other side and scooch if you think you've gotten off center. Make everything nice and square. Press that leg down and reach back. Now, this is, as we switch, they want to do different things. So I want to keep that hamstring glued to the mat, and then use my abdominals to come up and over. And here's the last one. Reach, 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 reach back. Should feel a little bit like short box. And exhale up and over. That exercise is really useful for the ab series because it will keep you aligned and centered on the mat. And for instance, in my case, I have a tendency to get a little bit crooked off one side. Also, things that can throw us off balance and off center include crossing your legs when you sit, crossing your ankle over your knee when you sit, anything that is not keeping you square on your sits bone. And also if you like to pop a hip as you're cooking or waiting in the grocery line. So just those are things to keep in mind. All right, we're going to roll on down and get to the ab series, speaking of. So the ab series We're not going to skip it because we can't lift our head. We're just going to keep the head down. Bring one knee into the chest and bring the other knee in, okay? Now we're going to straighten one leg and draw the other knee towards the chest, anchoring the tailbone into the mat, long pelvis, and then as you switch, keep awareness of both sits bones, just like when we were seated on the mat. Reach up, reach up, reach up, but anchor the tailbone and switch. If you feel a little bit like you need some challenge, you can also point the leg off. We don't want to go much lower than about 60-ish degrees. Maybe this is even 70, 65 to 70 degrees if we're going to really measure it. And switch. Now go at a tempo where you can absolutely feel very, very anchored in the tailbone. If you go too quickly here, it's going to pop up, and we want to actually press it down. So here's one more, and one more here. I'm going to stay here, and we'll go into double leg stretch. So you may reach, squeeze the heels together, and reach with the arms long out to the sides, and exhale, draw the legs in like you're, I guess, in molasses or honey, and out and exhale. If that's a lot, you can just focus on the legs. You can reach up and then exhale, draw the legs in. Inhale, and hands go to the side. You can add a little bit of a squeeze. Remind yourself to really use the hip muscles. Exhale, and use the hip muscles to press up and pull in and press up and really squeeze room to use those muscles and exhale. We're working hard doing what looks like nothing, really. So this will set you up really nicely for when you get to lift your head and things are a little bit faster, and you'll feel a lot more precise because you'll have that ingrained in the deep muscles. Then the next one would be single straight leg, and we're going to turn that into a hamstring stretch. So really anchor the tailbone down, low, light back. We don't need to push it in to the surface below us. We just lift the leg up in opposition and switch to the other side. And it's almost like a quick check-in. You know, can I keep the tailbone down? Can I keep the pelvis long? Can I straighten the leg more? Maybe even point the toes. And then down. Okay. Next is going to be double leg lower lift. And we're going to really squeeze the heels together here. Reach up long, press the tailbone down, long pelvis, ribs pulling down. And we're going to lower, 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 and lift, lift, lift. Lower, lower, lots of work in the hips, and lift, lift, lift. Squeeze the heels together. And you can even use your hands to remind yourself what that's supposed to feel like. The muscles should be doing all this work. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Tailbone is anchored. Exhale, exhale, exhale. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more stretch. Soften the knees slightly as you pull up closer towards the body. Press the tailbone down. Reach. Using the muscles to straighten, using the muscles to stretch. And exhale, exhale, exhale. All right. Crisscross is going to also look different. Reach one leg and then pull the other knee in, but the sits bones stay square. So we don't pull the knee to the side, we don't roll off, but we stay centered in our spine and then curl on up. And we are now going to pull with the hand that has the outside of the lower leg, and we're going to reach up and stretch. And then come back down. That's all it is. Pull the leg in. Stretch out the other side. Hand hooks over. You're going to pull yourself up to curl more and twist for that stretch. You're still working. All right, and one more on the other side. Reach, pull, curl on up, twist, and then untwist. And other leg in. Here's one more time on that side. So reach, pull, curl on up, and twist. All right. So we did lift the head rather, but it was with a lot of support and using the hand on the outside of the leg to help us curl up higher. So I hope those suggestions help. And remember, on those days, everybody has those days where we cannot lift. Doesn't matter what level you are, it happens to everyone. So just take it all in stride and keep on working. See you soon.